Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video we're talking about Nintendo Switch, PlayStation Vita, Anbernic, Analogue, the Steam Deck and more. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation Vita emulation on Android with Vita 3K, and I've got a very quick update for you. MacDo's been working extremely hard with the touch controls for Vita 3K. They're making the user interface more touch-friendly. MacDo's also been working extremely hard on speeding up games. They're rendering very well, but they're running slow, about 1/3 of the speed they could be running. For example, here's Trails of Cold Steel up and running and looking amazing, but running very slow. Mind you, here's Tales of Hearts are up and running between 24 to 30 frames per second and, in my opinion, looking pretty good. I mean, call me crazy, but I'd say this game is completely playable. Here's the game up and running at 30 frames per second at 4K. Yes, at 4K on Android, and it's looking really good. That was the overworld, and let's see what happens now once you get into battle. Again, the frame rate is holding steady close to 30 frames per second. It bounces between 20 and 30 here and looks amazing. Again, 4K on Android. MacDo is working insanely fast. This level of development progress is absolutely nuts. I can't believe they're doing what they're doing here, and at this point we're going to see Vita 3K on Android sooner rather than later. But be patient, there is no public build available just yet. It's not ready, but when it's ready, it's going to be awesome. And speaking about awesome, next up we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx. Ryujinx has just released their progress report, and in terms of overall performance, I'd say Ryujinx and Yuzu are neck and neck. Now, I'll be going over this progress report at a very high level, but if you wanted to check it out in detail, I'll leave a link to it in the description below, and I actually do recommend checking it out. It's well written, it's entertaining, and it's very informative. So the first item in the progress report has to deal with the Vulkan backend, and they've made a ton of improvements, especially if you're on AMD. This is Splatoon 3 before, and well, that's Splatoon 3 after, using AMD. Amazing. For the OpenGL backend, Fadix Stella has been fixed. This is the before and this is the after, and apparently the Vulkan fix is coming very soon. Now, the fix for Splatoon 3 wasn't the only update for Vulkan. Vulkan received a ton of things, including some performance improvements, and this is Trails of Zero before, and well, here is after. You can actually see what's going on. And here's a very marshy Witcher 3 before, and well, here's after where things have dried up a little bit. Here's Prinny 2 before some GPU improvements, and here is after. Still not looking perfect though. But factor in some CPU improvements this month that Ryujinx also got, and well, here's Prinny 2 before, and here's Prinny 2 after, looking perfect. In addition to that, No More Heroes, No More Heroes 2, and Pikmin 3 all have had some major graphical issues fixed. Here's Pikmin 3 before, and here's after. Take a look at that antenna. There's also some specific audio improvements with Double Dragon Neon and Sky Gamblers. If you want to listen to them, check out the progress report. They have a before and after. Astral Chain got some major improvements with a boost from 23 FPS to 100 FPS on an i7 in the intro, and a jump from 30 FPS to 43 FPS in the lobby. And on top of that, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 also saw some improvements. Now, these were just some of the improvements. There's a whole lot more in that progress report, but basically at a really high level here, GPU got better, CPU got better, performance got better, and everything got better. If you're thinking about or already emulating Switch games on PC, I do recommend checking out Ryujinx. If you ask me which one's better, Yuzu or Ryujinx, my answer is both. Check out both. There is absolutely nothing stopping you. Yuzu might work better for some games on some machines. Ryujinx might work better for other games on other machines. It will completely depend based on your setup and also the game you're trying to run. Check out both. They're both awesome emulators. And speaking about awesome, next up here we're talking about the Steam Deck and Emudeck. Emudeck version 2 has just dropped, and if you've got Emudeck, you should probably update to it. If you don't have Emudeck, feel free to check it out. So Emudeck 2 brings about a brand new user interface. You can now back up your saves to the cloud. Vita 3K, Scum VM, and Doom have been added as emulators. There have been performance improvements on a whole bunch of emulators, and they've completely revamped controllers and hotkeys. And on top of that, this is absolutely huge news. If you're a fan of Emudeck but don't have a Steam Deck, or if you've got a Steam Deck but also have an Android device, well, Emudeck will be coming to Android. It's a matter of when as opposed to if. They say we're currently porting it back again to Android. However, it won't be as powerful as Emudeck for SteamOS, because Android has a lot of limitations. My guess is a lot of those limitations have to deal with scope storage and possibly a few other things, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, we're talking about Gotham Knights. If you're interested in Gotham Knights and you wanted to pick it up, you might be able to before the game officially releases on October 21st. Apparently some stores have gotten early copies of it and have already put it on their shelves for sale. Here is a picture of the game that someone actually bought, and if you check YouTube out, there's gameplay footage already on there. It is being taken down quite often, but at the same time, videos keep popping up. So if you're trying to avoid spoilers, just don't watch those videos on YouTube. Next up, we're talking about Anbernic, and the RG353M has leaked. Yes, we're going to be getting a metal version of the RG353. So the device on the top here is the brand new unreleased 353M. The device on the bottom is the older, already released 351M. Here's the back of both devices where you can clearly see RG353M. And here's the top of the two devices where the differences are very apparent. Again, the purple one is the 353M. And interestingly enough, here's the RG353V, which I will be reviewing shortly. It looks nothing like the 353M. Moving on, and we're talking about Analogue, and today Analogue dropped a very big announcement. If you pre-ordered an Analogue Pocket, chances are you're going to get it by the end of the year, at least a 95% chance. 95% of all open pre-orders will be shipping before the end of 2022. This one's interesting. Pocket cartridge adapters will be up for pre-order for $99 on October 21st. But the way they've written it here, it looks like pre-orders will be available for pre-order. So you can pre-order a pre-order. And this one, Super NT and Mega NT, they're going to be having another run. The final run. Mark your calendars for October 28th. They will go up for pre-order at $199, so basically $200. Now it is worth pointing out that unlike the Analogue Pocket, if you pre-order the cartridge adapter or the Super NT or Mega SG, you will be waiting quite a bit. The cartridge adapters ship Q3 of 2023, and the Super NT and Mega SG ship Q4 of 2023, and that's probably best case scenario. And speaking about pre-orders, next up, this is a really quick one. If you're interested in the God of War Ragnarok limited edition DualSense controller, which I think looks pretty cool here, it's now up for pre-order. It's available on PlayStation.com, it's available at Walmart, Best Buy, and I think a whole bunch of other places. It's $75 and it releases on November 9th. Moving on here, if you're a fan of G4 TV, well, you're not going to be able to enjoy it for very much longer, if ever. Comcast has officially pulled the plug on the G4 TV reboot. Now, it's absolutely no secret that G4 TV has faced its fair share of negative press since its relaunch. I don't want to say controversies, but there's been a lot of heated moments on this show that haven't been very well received, and the ratings apparently weren't very good, and well, they're no longer continuing it. Now, truthfully, I'm kind of sad to see G4 TV go. I mean, the more gaming content out there, the better, right? Did you watch G4 TV or didn't you? Let me know in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a ton today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.